Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel. I'm Bella and today I'm going to be reviewing the new Downton Abbey movie. Okay, let's get right into it because I appreciate that not everybody has seen this film yet and it's not out in every country in the world yet. So that big warning, spoiler warning, etc, etc. Okay, what is the basic outline for this movie? In short, the royal party are coming to visit Downton, which in short basically means King George V and Queen Mary of Tech are coming to Downton to have a dinner, a luncheon and a parade, and to see their daughter, the Princess Royal, who is married to the 6th Earl of Harwood. Her surname is Lascelles, and she's having some marital issues. She's got 2 small boys, but her and the Earl of Harwood are having issues. So that's basically what this film is about. It was like swimming in happy treacle, which is what Downton Abbey basically is. You all swim in happy treacle, but because it's a film, it didn't really have very many shocking moments. Its rating is PG and it was very safe. In fact, it was too safe. You want Downton Abbey to be safe so you can watch with grandma, but you want the little shocks. There was a lack of little shocks in this, to be absolutely honest. They played it very small, C, conservative, safe, even though they did have a good storyline with Tom Barrow, the butler / former footman, and the burgeoning gay scene that's happening. That was good. It was a very, very funny movie. That was really good. It did have some humour. It was funny. It's what you would expect. The downstairs staff had a larger part than the upstairs staff, to be absolutely honest. Daisy's left-wing views were toned down considerably to make the film more marketable, particularly cough cough for the American and Republican market. Edith actually had a rather large part because she's got a higher rank in nobility. She's married to a peer of the realm, so she outranks basically everybody, and it was nice to see Edith have that. But she was also frustrated with what a woman's role was within that time period. So that was kind of good to see, but it also wasn't. It was also Tom Branson's movie, Who Shall He Marry and Settle With, basically. And then you've got Mary lacking confidence. She's always lacking confidence when she doesn't actually need to. Yes, she's got a husband now who is away in America looking at cars. She's got her son with her first husband. She's also got a daughter with her second husband, the car salesman. So all in all, it was kind of a bit boring. Not very much actually happened. Yes, there was the Tom Barrow story where they were like, oh, in 50 years' time, do you think they'll accept LGBT people? Question mark. And then there was the part where the king nearly got shot, but it had to be covered up by the establishment conspiracy because Mary and Tom Branson stopped the shooter from shooting. It was all very, very, very safe. Yes, they managed to lock the royal downstairs staff so the Downton staff could serve everybody, but was that the main issue? It was very, very, very basic. I'm giving it 3 out of 5. People a 3 out of 5. It could have had bigger shocks, and it could have even had a death, even though they kind of hinted that Granny was on the way out, but they didn't want to kill her in front of everybody because she's such a beloved character and she's funny. And yes, by the end of it, she was giving Mary confidence to be her, but it kind of felt on deaf ears. You know, one of the things that was really, really missing was Sybil. And I know she's been dead for a while, but it's the energy of Sybil. The whole thing lacked energy. It was like just going through the motions, yeah. And there was nothing really too shocking. I mean, come on, this is George V and Mary. They have 6 children. They have David, who became Edward VIII. They have Albert, who became George VI. They've got Mary with the marriage troubles. They've got Henry, who's in the army, who's also known to have a drinking problem. They've got Johnny, who by this point had died of epilepsy, but that's beside the point. But they've also got Georgie, who was a known bisexual and was also a drug addict. And David had to help him out with that. And his father thanked him. There was loads of stuff that could have happened. They could have had some of the royal children come down as well. I'm not talking all of them. I'm talking perhaps David could have made an appearance, perhaps Albert could have made an appearance, and perhaps Henry, maybe Georgie. It would have been nice to see more than just George V, Mary and the Princess Royal. But having said that, it did give the Princess Royal some attention, because she did, everything regarding her storyline is pretty much factual. Her and her husband did have a kind of a rocky start because he was older, but they eventually sorted it out. What was interesting to see was actually to see George V and Mary of Teck played in a far more maternal and paternal roles, because George V is famous for saying, I want my children to be absolutely terrified of me. I was terrified of my father, my children are going to be terrified of me. So we've got this very, very gruff man who's very, very into order and regimental behaviour. To be absolutely honest, if the Downton staff had served them, he probably would have blown into some sort of blustering rage, because he did have a temper. Mary of Teck was known to go to big houses and actually claim back royal pieces from the royal collection that had been given to people by previous kings and queens, and she would get them back. So yes, we did have her lady's maid stealing items to sell, which was kind of a bit weird, because people would know that the items that this maid was stealing, because they were personal items to the person, whereas the items that the Queen Mary was taking was usually things like the big grandfather clock, something of that kind of thing, or a lamp, or this, that, the other, an item that had been given by the monarch to this big round house. So she was basically taking it back. But it's the same principle. Anyway, it is definitely a 3-star film. There were some good things. Mrs. Patmore was really well done. Mosley had his aria in the dining room, which gave Mrs. Patmore some credit. Yes, I've got a new haircut. Woo-de-doo. Overall, it's definitely a 3-star film. There's not really much that you can say. I don't really want to go into too much regarding the Tom Branson love affair / new love interest, because I think that's interesting. Yes, it was a done thing that aristocrats would have illegitimate children, and they would have found them jobs within their household or with something. That was fairly standard behaviour, and weirdly enough, other aristocrats knew this. They wouldn't say it, but it was known. So that's that. 3 stars. Do check it out. It is a very, very funny film. There are lots and lots of funny moments. What is a bit annoying is we don't really see Tom Barrow have the relationship with the children that he's had in the past, because him and Master George were quite close. You don't get that in this movie. In fact, you don't really see the children a lot. You do see Sybil's daughter, Marigold, and George on the lawn, and that's about it. And then they are in with the family playing, but they don't have any lines, they don't have any major role in the plot, which I think is something that possibly could be overlooked, because George is about 8 now, so really he should have had some kind of part to play, rather than it just be the adults. And I appreciate the reasons why not, but it would have been nice to have him sort of sitting next to Mary and perhaps learning a little bit more about the estate, rather than him being bundled off with nannies, because he's too old for that now. Anyway, moving swiftly on from that, I hope you've enjoyed this review. Please like, comment and subscribe. Yes, Downton Abbey is 3 stars. It's too safe and it's funny. The funniness is good. It's just a bit too safe, really, when you consider that in the past we've had Anna. Also, we didn't see Anna and Bates's son at all. Wasn't in. I mean, we did see him being carried out of the big house, but we didn't actually see them interact with him at all. So that was kind of a shame, to be absolutely honest, considering the amount of trouble that we had bringing that child into the world. We kind of gets glossed over. Bates didn't have a big role at all. Anna did. And we kind of didn't really see him very much, to be absolutely honest, which was a bit of a shame. Those little intimate moments between characters were missing, though Mosley got a good outing, to be absolutely honest. And Daisy and Mrs. Patmore always get good lines, and so does Carlson and Mrs. Hughes. Would have been nice to see something between Bates and Anna, and I appreciate it's a film, I really, really do. Hope you've enjoyed this review. Let me know what you thought about Downton Abbey in the comments below. Please like, comment and subscribe. Overall, it was funny, you saw in treacle, but you didn't have any of those shock moments, because remember, Mary's first husband died in a car crash, very shocking, and also that time when Anna got attacked, and yes, I appreciate people did complain to ITV about that, but it was shocking. It was, and it did happen. I just felt that they clung too close to sort of, I don't know, safety nets or something. They said, oh, we don't want to upset people, we just want to give them a movie that shows where the characters are going to go and how the Crawley family are going to live on and on and on and on, as Carlson said at the end. And it kind of really did rob Barrow of his role as Butler, to be absolutely honest. But that's just my opinion. Let me know yours. Please like, comment and subscribe, and thanks for the support. Bye!